Okay, this is another video. As I said, videos for me are a way to put things in perspective and also a way to tell this what's happening to me, testimonies of some sort. And because as a target individual, your brain has been rewired in such a illogical ways. And there's people who try to reinforce this illogicalness based on with these gaslighting methods. It's very logical. It's very nonsensical, but these people really try to make you think that makes sense, right? And they have no shame. That's their job. They're trying to make you accept a thing that is so illogical, trying to make it sound like that makes sense, right? Using different tonalities, right? The tone of like, oh, this is gonna happen to you. This is it's like whatever's gonna happen to me. Understand that regardless of what's happening to me, this way of thinking that you try to make me have, one is obviously manipulated. Two is also show the obvious manipulation and falsification of reality. And they want you to be like acceptive. And they use warning of torture as if I don't know that regardless of whatever happens in my brain, these tortures are gonna happen. Because these people torture people, children included, women included. These people do horrible things to everybody who's in this program. So somehow they want you to be like, it's gonna happen to you because we proved it. So you proved that this 3-week-old baby was what? You understand? They've rewired themselves into this illogicalness. And they have dumbed themselves down to think that, oh, we're winning. Oh, we proved it. Winning. Do you know, I know that you guys have tortured children? There's no winning or losing. There's no even proving. You are literally trying to make somebody accept something that makes no sense. And he's like, oh, we proved it. They're going to torture you. You torture children. What did you prove when you were doing that? That's my point. And they really get themselves to think in these ways. Yesterday, you heard me talking about my employer put me in this program, right? My employer at the time is the reason why they can't speak about Roy Moore, a pedophile that picked up kids. Do you know the level of nonsensicalness they've been trying to make me think, to make me believe that these people who sells product, and this is why you hear this noise campaign, right? You hear that? This is not random. This is a government-led program that tries to make you accept nonsensicalness. Yesterday, they were trying to make me subscribe that my employer, who sells product, industrial product, investigated and saw this, and this is why I was in this program, because they were looking in and saw these things. And that's why, that's you. My employer that sells industrial product, my employer is the reason why they came and say Roy Moore picked up kids. The reason why they can't say Roy Moore clearly is because of them. Now you hear the sirens, and this is because they put me in this program that does these things. And they'll try to say, no, they're investigating these people who, like, I don't want to give too much details. At the time, this employer, what he does is sell product, and my department was in the advertising department. And they're like, no, they'll investigate. Yeah. You understand? They really want you to make you accept it. Because once you put in this program, which my employer put there, they start creating a false persona, a false profile, create falsification of reality, and create the first initially is slanderous. They insult you with all kinds of things. They say all kind of nastiness. Then you get the V2K, which started in August 19, 2019, after I left that place, where they rewire your brain. And it's funny, what they've done, they'll make me think of, and they change my memory of things. Creative nasty stimulation. I talked about it a while ago. I remember before August 19, 2019, when I was normal, when I was myself. I remember this man holding this little girl, little black girl. And I remember him's like, I know what you like. And I'm looking at him and this little girl. At the time, I'm normal. I'm me. I don't have this nasty stimulation to make me experience now. Right? And now they're doing noise campaign in the hallways. that's supposed to be like, I'm supposed to subscribe to this news campaign. And he says something, I know what you like. And I'm like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, oh, I like to see a father and his daughter, a black man with his daughter. Now, of course, they're changing it to having the stimulations because this is a black little girl and her father. Stimulations now. As I'm saying that, there is somebody who is in the hallway, right, who is trying to make noise campaign, right, to every time they make me feel the stimulation in that memory, to make me accept this false reality of memory. And so what they're trying to say is like, oh, we know that you like that's black little girls and this reaction. I'm like, no shame. And now they're like, but how do we know that you're gonna react like this toward black little girl? It's because you manipulate me to experience that. It's like, oh, but black little girls, it feels like you felt like that when you were a kid. But I'm not a kid. I'm not an adult. So you're making me feel things that I would not naturally feel if I was me. And the argument is like, but black little girl, you think like you felt it like that when you were a kid or something like that. I'm like, what? Because you are rewiring and manipulating my brain to feel this way. And they truly want you to subscribe to it. And now what they're doing is going to this memory, adding stimulation. It's like, you see. And to them, it's supposed to be, I'm supposed to subscribe to this false memory. Of course, I know this is not what I experience. And you hear people making noise campaign, trying to get you to accept these things. I was with this person, this perp. I'm looking at this person. I'm like, in the midst of me performing something sexual to her, they try to have these battles. Try to create these thoughts. This is humiliating. And like she looks at me, oh yeah, fuck yeah, we're gonna see you getting raped. I'm like, I'd rather get raped than be in a program that does these things. Can you imagine? First of all, you can't. My employer that you're trying to cover as people who are investigating, you can't even say Roy Moore because of them. The same people who now you're stupid, try to make, and at the same time try to portray themselves as this progressive group of people, embarrassing, humiliating life. In every sense, these people have humiliated them. Not only the people who put me in this program makes them unable to say a name of a pedophile that picked up kids. These people donated money to stop this abortion law, and now these people have to make them look good. They are losers beyond end. While they try to make themselves being progressive. And now they hear black little girl, now it's you. No, we knew. And somebody, I remember somebody said black little girl. I'm supposed to be like, oh, now subscribe. Because what's happening today, if I see a black little girl, or any little girl, this any kid, by the way, any children, they try to then make me feel some disturbing stimulation, which initially they were like, oh, that's how you felt when you were a kid. And now they're putting that in every memory where there's kids or black little girls or anything. Give me stimulation of that nature. Manipulate my memory to get these stimulations. Of course, I know that's what they do. And they're like, oh, they're going to torture you. They're going to hang you. They're like, oh, my gosh. Are they going to use directed energy? Oh, no, they're going to use ropes. Oh, wow. Wow, that must be hard to get ropes because if you can get directed energy, rope is going to be so hard. Like, the way they've just tricked themselves to delude themselves from reality. These people work in entities that are renowned. These agencies are filled with pedophiles. So that should just let you know already why they can use these tactics of pedophilia. They do the pedophilia type of torture. They know this. Right? They try to... my employer have humiliated these people. If there's winners, if somebody claimed to be a winner, is the employer responsible for me to be in this program? Because these dumbasses who still try to make themselves be like this progressive femme fatale group of strong women cannot speak about a pedophile because my employer put in this program. They're all there, they were rallying about this like Roe versus Wade change over there. Well, my employer donated money for that to happen. They're the top donors of these conservative parties, and these people are trying to make them like, oh, they're investigating. They were looking, they decide there. Delusional. These people who are, and these people talking to try to make me subscribe to this. renowned for doing the pedophile type of torture. Almost all target individuals are forced to see child porn in their mind. These people are renowned to rewire people in these disgusting pedophile ways. They are humiliated on an nth degree, and I'm going to be, because of this humiliation, of course, I'm going to suffer even more. Because they embarrassed and humiliating. Black little girl. What do you think in my life a black little girl? Oh my gosh, not black little girl stimulations, because they created stimulation. Make me think a little black girl give me stimulations. And they say, oh, you felt that when you were a kid. What? And they said, no, it's not me. But that's how you make me experience things now. Because you can control this in my brain. This is what this technology does. It does this pedophile type of torture. So when somebody in a restaurant said black girl, I'm like, shut up. You bunch of pedophiles. These guys have been doing the pedophile type of torture. When you see Jackie, this woman, this trans woman, who they were forcing her to have these pedophile thoughts. Who was a black, white little boy? I don't know. Delusional. And they try to have these battles and make me think of a black little girl and then give me stimulations. I'm like, I said, no, that's the stimulation you used to have when you were a kid. I'm not a kid, first of all, and this nonsensicalness is not going to make me subscribe to it. You have to rewire my brain and condition my brain into this fashion. That's not how it works. People don't go into people's brain, change everything up and say, oh, that's you, we got it. You when you're a kid. No, that's what you guys do to people. And try to make them subscribe to this. And they're like, no, but when you were a kid, they're not trying to make me think of me as a child. I'm like, I'm not a child. I know you do the pedophile type of torture. Even when I was a child, I didn't think that way. And now you're making me think make me think that this is me when I was a child. And then talk about, oh, remember what you did as a kid. You know what a kid can do? In 8th grade? In middle school? Yes. That's what children do. That's what children are capable of doing at this age. You're a grown-ass man and woman working a program that forces men and women to think about kids in these disturbing pedophile ways and try to make them subscribe to it. And really, they try to be like, oh, we proved it. People, you know how easily it is to show that these people have patterns of tormenting people in the pedophile ways? It took 2 seconds. Almost all targeted individuals are forced to see child porn in their mind. What does that mean? I was saying, oh, Mariana, who speaks such eloquently, literally say, I smell baby powder, and guess what? I get pedophile type of torture. Who's used this terminology? And you hear these people try to counter it. Oh, no, they use the script, which is those things they do. Of course they do the pedophile type of torture. Of course they're forced to experience these disgusting things. Of course they're going to try to find ways to be like, no, it's you when you were a kid. And then go into memories now and make you experience things like that in all your memories from adulthood to whatever. It's like, that's you. And like, oh, you're a con man. These people were not prepared. You know how easily it is? And they're like, oh, they're going to be hanging you and stuff. Okay. Then I know anybody can do that to me. Do you know how fast they can run if I put the testimony of the fact they do the pedophile type of torture? 2 seconds. In front of me, I can be like, hey, they will run away. Because reality is this. These bottom feeders that are contracted by these government entities, if you see them, I have pictures of some, I will put them. Childlike individuals, people who just like look so fraudulent, losers of all sorts, weak, emotionally unstable, fraudulent people, trying to get you to subscribe to these things. And you hear these children like, oh, we came and said Roy Moore. This con man, because they call me con man, every time I put things in perspective, this con man is going to show how easily it shows that you guys, these people are pedophiles. If you listen to this testimony, you immediately see one thing. There's a pattern of pedophilia that they do. There's a pedophilia type of torture that they utilize to break people down. And they try to get you to accept this new version of reality, which I'm not going to let them do. So when they try to do the next noise campaign, I look at them, it's like, poop. Smell baby powder and the pedophile type of torture. What was that? Did they analyze this? Almost all target individuals are forced to see child porn in their mind. Oh, it says, this woman talk about, oh, the way they make me think. Oh, this woman in Florida, Oh yeah, yeah. They do this program of provision aimed toward children. Is it black girls or black what? Delusional, and they try to make themselves like, oh, because we're women. Oh, there's a lot of women in this doing this thing to people. There is no way that you cannot see through what they do. Now, what's going to happen to me? It's going to happen to me because I'm a target individual. They try to make me think that, oh, they proved it. You didn't prove anything. They're people like you. They're going to harm me like this. The day people say, oh, they don't do the pedophilia type of torture. The day, it's no way they can make themselves appear like they don't do pedophilia type of torture. There's nothing they can do. They have to talk about me as a kid and say what we're doing is we rewire your brain to think like you were thinking when you were a child. I press play, listen to a grown woman saying they forced me to think in this pedophilia way. Add to the cherry on top of all the cherries, these pedophiles, right? These lowlifes, these contracted lowlifes. Do you know who is empowering them? Yes, those entities that is verifying happen to have a lot of pedophiles in these agencies. And then you see who's talking. You see this childlike people, you like, for sure, you are just a bottom feeder. And for sure, you are not in charge of these things. For sure, you are just a bottom feeder contracted by these entities filled with pedophiles. And this is why I don't like to be seen, because when you see them, and there's this like teenage weird looking shit, I'm sorry for insulting, they try to make me look at her. I have a picture so she can, yeah. And they're like, do you see that? This is the people investigating. And they're like, yo, our pedophile, yo. They like to project, huh? They live in a fantasy. They are the pedos and they work for pedophiles. This is why there's so many pedophiles in this intelligence community. It's humiliating. They have been humiliated in a ways that you can't understand. To block out this humiliation, I don't know how they do it. Because me now, I'm going to receive all the kind of sufferings. They try to cover up for the people who put me here. The same reason why they can't say Roy Moore. The same reason it's Roe versus Wade turned over. My employer helped doing that. Now they try to make them look like they're like, oh, they were just investigating. They saw you. This humiliation number one. Two, they do the pedophilia type of torture. It's like, oh, they see you when you were a kid. Guess what? Almost all target individuals are forced to get this pedophilia type of torture. Almost all. Are there more testimonials? This pedophilia type of torture. Women saying that. Another person. Oh, they forced me to think in this pedophilia ways. Another testimonial. Oh, they do this program of perversion aimed at toward children. You go into petitions. Remote pedophilia. What? You see? It just 2 seconds. And you hear this show, oh no, we proved it. Well, black girl, it's you. Start to come up with ways to block these things. I understand my brain will connect things like that in these nonsensical ways. These people have to be dumb themselves. They have to dumb themselves and add to the cherry on top of everything. Guess what entities happen to have problems with pedophilia? You guessed it. The same agencies contracting these bottom feeders, paying this trash, are filled with pedophiles. It is a problem, a systematic issue going on in these entities. From DARPA, DOD, and all CI, pedophilia running rampant and going crazy over there. Awkward. And they're like, no, you're a pedophile. You see, that's what they have to create. And then when they see me, I listen to all of this in front of them. You watch how they just don't even know what to look. They don't even want to look in my eyes. I remember going somewhere and this person literally like turning around. It's humiliating. It's humiliating. You have to live this life of countering and projecting reality. What do you think is going to happen to you? I'm dead because of this person. You know, I'll show that this big, my blood is on his hands. You just trash to do these things to people. You're like a tool. Trash. And now they try to make me think, remember when you were a kid. Do you understand that they are not the tortured children? They hurt kids. These people doing to me. These people are full-time this. They're in a program, this same program here with their money, with this technology. They torture children, infants, in every layers you can imagine. It's foul. There's no way to escape. It's like they sign a pact with like a some kind of devil, some biblical. Like I'm just, of course I know it's not true, but it's like, oh, you want to be God, okay, but you're going to be God. This is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to make yourself very, 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 very retarded. You're gonna have to be involved in a program that does very bad things to babies, to infants. You're gonna have to do very pedophile things to people, and then you're gonna be God. And then you see what's gonna come back. Like that's. It feels like it's that. It almost feels like that. Of course, I know it's not. I know. Like this is. If I wanted to look at it in a biblical way, but the reality is that they work for entities that have done horrible things and are doing horrible things to babies in this program. This technology they're doing this on, they applying on me, is being applied toward children. They're doing these things to kids. They're doing horrible things to kids. That's what they do. And to see this femme fatale wannabe is like, oh my gosh, she's such a fraud. It's such a fraud. Stop it. Like I'm looking at her, I was like, oh my gosh, it would take so little for you to just be like that. Like, I'm looking how weak and I'm not talking about like, it's just how vulnerable they are, and they just want to be like such winners. I'm like, oh my gosh, you just got this just happened to you just for doing that. You are just calling out for something horrible to come back to you, and you cannot even handle that. And this weak, you're not a femme fatale. It looks so nasty. What the reason why I'm here? You know why? And you're here trying to cover up for them, trying to make them look like something else. Try to come up with the storylines of like, oh, they were singing how little boys were down by little girls, and then whatever. It's just the pure retardation. And really, in my head, in my mind, they try to make me feel like, oh, feel nervous because it makes sense. It's just because my brain has gone so on a level of retardation that you can't even understand. That logic like that is actually being accepted in my brain. But people who themselves sold their freaking soul to these pedophiles and now here trying to get you to be a pedophile. To all my target individual, stay strong, because justice will be done. For me, the way I look at this is, this purpose of mine have been humiliated to so much that they're going to take that on me, right? They're going to make sure that this comes back to me, because the humiliations they've experienced is it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's now they're like manipulating memories, doing all these things, because all these things comes out while they're doing this thing, while they try to make me subscribe to this. These people are ran by pedophiles, and now they're like, now we're matching, we're verifying, we're looking at while these trash entities, people in there, these agencies that own child porn by the thousands on their work computers, and they're like, now we're just matching. Yeah, okay. Delusional. And they try to be like, oh, femme fatale, using this tonality on your fry. And they're like trying to, like, okay. Clown. I would have fried to death, like you fried these kids and women. Trash. Finding out they torture women and children all around the world. I mean, they're saying that, impacting, in TID 2020, literally saying, this is impacting men, women, and children all around the world. And then you hear a woman who's from somewhere in Malaysia or whatever saying the same thing. Then you hear somebody in Kansas, then somebody in Michigan, and they're like, no, you're gonna fry. Trash. Delusional. And now they try to go back into me and my employer, try to find a way. Remember when they were bringing babies, they would try to study if they were looking at ridiculousness. He's like, no, all along was black little girls, black little girl. We find out black little girls, and then they bring the moments when this man brings his baby, and he's like, I know what you like, and I'm looking at the baby, and the father's like, oh, this, yeah, I like the father and daughter, yes, and now they try to add stimulation. They're adding stimulation now to my memories, and like, no, that we know that once we do these things to your brain, you see things like that. They are delusional and trash, and it takes a level of retardation that I will not let them live that fantasy. They're making noise campaign with chains because they say I'm going to be chained. Like, I would be chained. This is all for the theater. I'm going to run toward those chains. Whatever's going to happen, the horrible things going to be, yeah, fuck yeah. That's what they say, like, whatever. And then what? I die, get scream, and then what? You live your life, pretend like nothing. Delusional. So I'm not talking if you just stay strong and know that justice will be done.